Hi guys, I'm Tracey Ward and this is my podcast. Welcome. So today I thought I would talk about the house. I've been asked a lot of questions about it, so I think that's probably a good place to start right at the beginning. Tell you a few things, what we used to get up to and bits like that, get them out of the way, and then we can start on the journey of what we actually did and the results that we got from it. First of all, people have been asking me, where is this clinic? I'm really sorry to say this clinic does not exist. It was a temporary clinic just for the purpose of this documentary, which is it's quite sad really, because a lot of people are obviously disappointed by that. So basically we lived in two houses. There was beautiful houses, I have to say. Looked like something off Grand Designs. All the housemates, including myself, were in one house, and just across the way there was another beautiful house, which they turned into the clinic in half of it, and then the crew used to take it in turn sleeping over at night time in the top part. So we always had somebody on site to keep an eye on us and everything. But the house itself, it was beautiful, and there was windmills, and it was just fantastic. I feel very privileged actually, because before I had the night before the start, me and Dan shared the same hotel, and we kind of recognised each other from Newcastle, and we got talking, and we both decided that we were going to end up in some grubby old B&B with paint peeling off the walls and stuff like this. So when we did actually see this place, it was a huge relief, I do have to say. I was very lucky as well. I had a room with a double bed. I think the guys had single beds. I think Jenna had a double bed as well. But it was just a beautiful place. Really beautiful. Loads of different textures there, all open plan. It was just, and the most panoramic views were just to die for. They were amazing. We couldn't have had it done in a better place. We really couldn't. I do miss it actually. I really do miss it. So that was kind of down Brighton way. I think it's called Jack and Jill Windmills, if anybody wants to look it up. But yeah, beautiful place. As I say, it wasn't a real clinic, but we did have clinic kind of thing set up there. We had a clinic bed that we didn't use it hardly. It's where we did all the test results every single morning without fail. 8 o'clock we had to get over to the other side and take our bloods in, do our wee sample. So we did that every day. Oh my God. It was, and also where this house was, it was on top of a hill, and we were there kind of winter time, so we had a few storms and blowy nights, but because of the materials this house was made out of, there was just the storms. Oh my God, the house just rattled. And it not just rattled, it was banging, rattling. And you just could not sleep through that. And then we went out to get up early in the next morning as well. And on a really restricted diet. Oh, Christ. That's why we didn't look happy sometimes on the documentary. We were just shattered. But when the weather was good, oh, beautiful. You couldn't complain. No way at all. But yeah, we used to take these little samples over, all wrapped up in our dressing gowns. Hair looking like we've just gone through the hedge because the wind used to just go straight through between the houses. But then, like, every day I don't think people realise how much we were filmed as well. It's literally 24/7, and we were there for 4 weeks, and so so much was edited out because we did spend all day filming. We get filmed doing absolutely everything, cleaning your teeth, walking from one place to another over and over, over and over. Everything was over and over. Everything's repetitive, and then again from different angles all the time as well. So, but then you've got to say it with the same enthusiasm as you did say it for the first time. Now, me, well, my memory is terrible. I'd say something, and then I forgot what I was talking about. So when I did it again, I was like constantly, oh God, what did I say? What did I say? Yeah, so it's a very strange experience. And I think once you take part in a TV programme like this, you don't look at TV programmes the same afterwards, because you can see where they're coming from with the angles, and, you know, all the little, where the film you're having to nod and things like this. It's full of stuff like that, but I'll mention a few more as we go along, probably, if I remember. Yeah, so as I said, our days started at 8 a.m. and the days when the presenters were there, obviously we'd have to start earlier because we need to get ready and stuff like that. Anita used to rock up. This is Anita Arnie of Countryfile. She's known for Countryfile. She'd turn up looking like the most glamorous woman you've ever seen, and when you're feeling like the pits, it's like, oh God. And she was so tiny. She's like a little doll, but just beautiful. And so was Dr. Zoe. Zoe was amazing. She was a lovely, lovely woman, very supportive, and helped me a great deal. And Professor Jason Gill as well. What an amazing man. He was so passionate about what we were doing, and he was passionate about us and our well-being, and what we were doing and where we were going on this journey. And that was infectious. It was just a really wonderful thing to see. And all the crew were amazing. Every single one of them. There's no doubt about that. They constantly smiling. They were extremely helpful. They were just lovely, lovely people. I miss them all terribly. I really do, even now. But I've got some amazing memories, and these are, I want to cherish these for the rest of my life. So, anyway, so that was that. That's about the house, and it's not a real clinic. Really sorry about that. I wish it was a real clinic. Which I just have to say this because it really pissed me off. When I watched it back, they kept referring to us as lab rats, and now I found that, I was just absolutely disgusted, to be honest. I thought it was a really bad choice of words, because we give our all for that programme, and for what we were doing. We gave 100% every day, all day, and we weren't lab rats. This was a real serious journey we were on, both individually and as a group. I don't mind being called a guinea pig, but a lab rat, and I thought the way it was said was really derogatory. So I'm just going to say that, get it off my chest. Now it's done. Won't talk about that again. But there you go. So we've done the 8 a.m. starts. The first day, now, that was horrible. I'm not going to lie, it was really horrible. I had a feeling before we were going in that we were going to be having some kind of shake type thing, but I thought it would be kind of a homemade smoothie thing. So, I thought, oh God, they're going to be getting me mashing up bananas and crap like that, and I can't stand bananas. But anyway, we got there, and I was presented with a hand blender and a metal beaker, and I thought, okay, there's some kind of mixing going on here. The first day we were told not to eat anything or drink anything apart from black tea or black coffee or water, and we were getting hungry because up to that point we were all having bad diets. I mean, personally, my day, it would start in the morning with half a packet of biscuits with about 3 cups of coffee with sugar in, one after the other. So I'd demolish half a packet of biscuits first thing, no problem. Mid-morning I'd probably have some toast, probably 3 or 4 rounds of toast, or 3 or 4 muffins. Not muffins, what am I talking about? 3 or 4 crumpets. Then later on it would be snack time again, probably a bit of French stick, dairy cheese, something like that. And then at night time, a full-on proper meal, probably 2 persons worth of pasta, followed by snacks. So you probably have a Twix or something like that, followed by probably a bag of chocolate toffee eclairs, and then I'd go and watch something in bed. When I went to bed, watch a film or something, I'd be sucking on these sherbet lemons. So my diet was atrocious, absolutely atrocious. So we've gone from that to, like, all of a sudden we've not given anything, and it was getting on to midday, and we were all going, we've got to eat something soon. Jenna had a bit of a wobble, the first of many, but eventually in the afternoon we were allowed to have these shakes. So we made them up using water from the tap and deciding which ones we wanted. I think I had a cherries and berries actually, but using water straight from the tap, disgusting. Oh God, it is rank. And I thought, when I was drinking it, I was thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do this 4 times a day, every day for 4 weeks. I was actually thinking, I'm not going to get through today. You know, these things were revolting. And then we tried some other different flavours, and I thought, oh my God, they're even worse. So I wasn't pleased, but I knew I had to do it. I was going to do it 100%. There was no getting out of it. I was doing it, but I didn't like it that day. But the next day, well, what we did actually after that day, we put some cold water in the fridge because I thought we'd try it with cold water the next time. So the following morning, I thought, I'll try these cherries and berries again with cold water. Oh, what a difference. Tastes like a completely different product. So definitely, for all you newbies, use water from the fridge. Definitely. And also ice cubes. That gives it a nice, I don't know, it's just really nice. Tastes completely different. So I now have a jug in my fridge with a filter in, and that is where all my water comes from for my shakes now. But as I say, that first day, them first taste, I couldn't do it. It was minging. Now I absolutely love cherries and berries. Cherry Bakewell, those two are my go-to ones. I just love them. I just look forward to them. But the only problem is I drink them too fast because they're so nice. Your tastes do change, and they will carry on changing. I mean, I used to have such a sweet tooth. Now I have a Diet Coke. Can't drink it. It's disgusting. It's so sickly and sweet, and it's the same with chocolate. Like Cadbury's. I thought I was being naughty the other day. I thought I'd have a chunk of this Cadbury's chocolate that was in the fridge. Ugh, disgusting. Oh, that's my new word today. Disgusting. It wasn't like anything that I remembered. Chocolate. It was just a very strange taste and very sickly. My taste have changed. I mean, my treats now, instead of sweets and chocolate like I used to do back then, is literally a bowl of blackberries, raspberries and strawberries, and that's sweet enough for me now. Perfect. And nuts, just plain nuts, not roasted, nothing with salt on. Nuts are good for you if you're on a keto diet. Obviously we weren't allowed these nuts on this fast fix, so I probably shouldn't be talking about nuts, but these are like healthy snacks I have now. So I can have peanuts, hazelnuts, almonds, Brazil nuts. But again, you've got to be careful of quantities, and also with Brazil nuts you've got to be careful because if you have too many, it can be a bit toxic because of the selenium that's in them. I didn't realise this, and I had an old bag full, and I wondered why I felt sick. Shouldn't be eating a bag full of nuts anyway, but I won't be doing that again. So yeah, there's healthy alternatives, and as I was saying, that's what I was on about, wasn't it? It was digressing. Your tastes change, they really do. So we've done about the shakes. Oh, now, gosh. Again, it's like Marmite, these shakes. You either love them or you hate them. Now, as I say, cherries and berries, the Cherry Bakewell are my favourites. I love them. I don't get fed up of them. I could have them every single day. No question. Now, Steve, he preferred all the sweet ones. He loved every single one. I don't think there was one flavour he didn't like. He'd love all of them. But the savoury ones, he couldn't stand. He really didn't like. We actually filmed him. Well, not me personally, but the crew filmed him having a shepherd's pie, and he had to force that down himself. Honestly, I was like, I felt so sorry for it. But yeah, he thought it tasted like cavity wall insulation, but I don't know when he's ever tried that, but there you go. I might have to ask him that one. But once we got used to the different flavours, it was like we were just obsessed. We had to get as much out of the jug as possible because, Steve would be like, there's half a teaspoon full in there that, it's like 10 calories. And you just literally put your finger and get a teaspoon and just get every single little bit out that you could. You got that obsessed with it because you wouldn't have anything for another few hours, So it was tough. It took some getting used to, but it's all worth it. It's all worth it in the end. Now, one of the things we used to do or look forward to every week. Well, me and Steve did. It was a Friday night, because Most Haunted was on, and now me and him are just like obsessed with Most Haunted type things, ghosts and spooks. And I've always have been, and I think Steve has, from what I can gather. So yeah, we booked the TV on a Friday night, 9 o'clock, and we'd watch Most Haunted. And the only thing was, we didn't have no alcohol in the house because we were on this strict diet. So we would make pretend gin and tonics, and vodka and tonics. So Steve would have a gin and tonic, which is just sparkling water, slice the lemon in, or lime, a couple of ice cubes, and I'm not joking, it was like we were getting drunk on water. It was the most bizarre feeling. We just had fits of giggles and everything. But yeah, so give that one a try. Damn sight cheaper than gin and vodka, I know that. But yeah, we used to watch Most Haunted, and we'd have the lights, and it would be dark. I mean, we had a little wood fire going, which was an amazing fire. And of course, we all you get a bit tense. You don't realise you're getting a bit tense when you're watching something spooky. And next thing you know, there's like big clatter, as if somebody had thrown something in the house. That was it. We jumped up. That was pretty scary. And we looked round, we couldn't find anything, but we all heard this clatter. That was quite a funny night, actually. And we were talking about ghosts and things like this, and I asked him if he'd watched this documentary called The Pantry Ghost. Now, he hadn't heard of it, so I was talking about it, and basically it's just somebody who filmed strange phenomena in the house, and I have to say, it is the creepiest, scariest thing I have ever seen, documentary-wise. It's just, you can't find words to describe it. It's something you have to look up. And now I know it's on Amazon Prime. Possibly you could find it on YouTube. I don't know, but it is called The Pantry Ghost. So anybody who's interested in that kind of thing, give it a go, because honestly, you'll be terrified. So I found it, and I put it on my laptop. And Steve came into my bedroom to watch it. And we were lying on the bed watching this thing. And the amount of times he jumped off the bed, it's just making me laugh. And we got to the end of it, because everyone had gone to bed at this point, and it was really dark, and he had to go downstairs because his bedroom's downstairs, and he was so scared of walking down the stairs to get to his bedroom, and he was shitting himself. So yeah, anybody who's interested in that kind of thing, The Pantry Ghost, you've got to see it. Amazing. One day we had a yoga class, which was something I was really looking forward to. I'm so glad we had that chance to do that. There was 5 of us, I think, doing it. Steve and myself, we were at the back, thank goodness, like the naughty kids, and Jenna and Dan were in the front, and then obviously in front of that we've got the yoga teacher, and then Matt, the cameraman, was filming it all. So yeah, we were sitting there cross legs and everything else, and the lady, who was lovely, introduced herself and told us a bit about the type of yoga that we were doing. I can't remember which type it was. It began with H. That's all I can remember. But anyway, let's see. She starts chanting, and then she said to us, right, now I want you to copy what I do. So she started making these chanting things. I don't know what the correct terminology is, but we were supposed to repeat it after her. Which is fine, but there were quite long segments, and I don't know about you, but I've got this kind of dyslexia thing. Something goes into my head and it is straight out again. So remembering what she was doing, because remember, these aren't like proper words that we use, day to day. It's obviously it's some kind of lingo. So doing that and copying that, me and Steve, well, just I could see his shoulders going up and down out the corner of my eye because he was laughing, and I thought, I can't look at him, because I thought if I look at him, I'm going to start laughing. So anyway, we were sitting at the back, and she started a chanting. Now, I thought, oh my God, what did she just say? Because I couldn't physically remember what she just chanted, because I had to repeat it at that point. But I did my best. Steve did his best. But you felt very awkward. You felt stupid, actually, which I think is quite common. But I could see Steve's shoulders going up and down at the corner of my eye, and I knew he was laughing. And I thought, I can't look at him, because I thought if I start looking at him, I am just going to start wetting myself, and I thought I just can't do it. But he was giggling for quite a bit of it, and he actually got told off, which made me feel worse. But that was a good experience. Anyway, the second time he didn't do the yoga class. I did it on my own, and I felt a lot better the second time. I didn't feel so daft. But it was an incredible experience. I've bought a yoga mat actually to start doing it again, but I've just not got around to doing it. Afterwards, I felt so calm, relaxed, and just chilled out. Really, it's a sublime feeling. It was good. It was good, and I do need to do it again. So yeah, reminder, Tracey, do get your yoga mat out. There was only one thing, I can't believe I'm going to tell you this. Oh my God. Right. There was one thing I was really worried about. I'd done one yoga kind of class before, a couple of years before. And there was this position when we had to get into, I bet a lot of you know what I'm going to come out with here. There's a position we had to, we were lying on our backs, drew our knees in, should I say, to our body, put your arms around and curled up into a little ball. And as I did that, I passed wind. And of course, made me laugh. Well, I didn't know anybody in this group, and I thought, oh God, I'll just give the game away that it was me. What I should have done was just stay silent. They wouldn't have known it was me. But no, of course, I have to start laughing. So I was really worried that I'd do it again, because that was it. That was my first one and only lesson. I didn't go back after that. But I was so scared in this thing that I'd do that again. But so I was like really concentrating hard. And needless to say, nothing happened like that, thank goodness. I mean, you get to my age and crikey, you can pass wind just picking some up off the floor, Anyway, that's enough of that subject. I can see Steve rolling his eyes, telling me off already. Another trip we had out was the weigh-in thing. Now, when we went to the house, we were given a list of things that we had to take with us. One of them was a swimming costume. I thought, oh my God, I can't take that. I don't swim. They can't film me swimming because I can't. To the point, I'm actually scared of water. And I said to Matt, why do we need a swimming costume? I can't swim. And he goes, oh, it doesn't matter, you won't need to swim. But he wouldn't go into any more detail. Well, I found out what that was all about this day, because we had to get up a 3-hour journey there. In a little minibus. Oh God, that was a long journey. And we couldn't have anything to eat that morning or drink while there were the shakes and stuff, because we had to have an empty stomach. Didn't tell us why or anything. So by the time we got there, we were all wanting something to eat, and we couldn't. We had to get changed, put dressing gowns on over swimming costumes, and we were weighed, measured as in height wise, not like waist or anything. So we did that, and then basically what we had to do, I think it's called hydrostatic weigh-in. So basically what it was, there was like probably 6 foot by 6 foot kind of square hole in this room, and it was full of water. And dangling in this water was what looked like a giant bath plug, basically. And what they had to do was sit on this bath plug, and they had to immerse themselves under the water and empty every last bit of air out of the body, because it was like a water displacement thing. So once they got all that air out, then they could weigh what they were exactly. I mean, this is like, it's a very scientific thing, this. I'm sorry I don't know the right words for it, but it's extremely accurate. So they all did that. Now, my fear of water, I thought maybe if you just had to dunk under it, I could have done it. But when I actually watched them, what they were doing, I knew straight away there was just no way on earth they were going to get me in there, and let alone breathe out and hold my breath under there. It just wasn't going to happen. I don't like water on my face, so it definitely wasn't going to happen. Steve did it 4 times, and I thought, oh my God, how brave. But poor Luke did it 7 times. There's just no way on earth I was going to do it. So, but I was lucky. I was very lucky, because they also had what they call a bod pod, which basically looks like a massive egg with a window in, and I go and sit in it. Again, it's in not dressing gown, swimming costume. I had to take all my jewellery off. Everything like that is extremely accurate. And I sat in this bod pod. It looked a bit like something out of Mork and Mindy, if anybody remembers that. And so yeah, I got weighed that way. And then afterwards, they gave us the results of what our percentage of body fat was. And I was mortified. Basically, 51% of me was fat. 51%. I was a walking sausage. A walking human sausage. 51% fat. I was mortified. I was so upset that I'd got to that state. In fact, to be honest, I'd love to have a go in a bod pod now just to see what the difference is with how much I've lost and everything. In fact, I might look into that. And then I can also let you know where you can get it done yourself and how much it costs. So that'd be a good thing to do. But as I say, that was a 3-hour drive there, no food. And of course, me and Steve had to be the last ones of the day. So we had to go all day with no food. So we were very wobbly by that point. And that first shake was just bliss. And then we had that 3-hour journey back again. Yeah, that was a bit of a drag. But we had a few long days like that, to be fair. We also had a day when we went to the teaching university where they surprised us with a dead body. That is a day I will never forget, ever. I was so upset, but probably for different reasons than you thought. Once I found out there was a dead body behind the door, I just felt extremely sad. I just wanted, strangely enough, I just wanted to go in there and hold his hand because he was on his own, and I don't know why I felt like that. I still don't know why that feeling came across, but I just thought what an amazing person to have left his body like that, and we learnt so much from him. Well, I know I personally did. I know Steve did. I know Luke did. I don't know how much it affected Dan or Jenna, but it affected me. I just wish I knew who his family were so I could thank them. But what an amazing thing to do. I've got to stick to what I'm doing, otherwise his death would have been in vain. It's that kind of feeling it gives you. We learnt so much from his body. We learnt about the fat, where the fat is in your body. See, I thought there's only just one kind of fat. I thought you're either fat or that's it, it's just fat. But there's different places where the fat goes. You've got ectopic fat. Now, ectopic, I'll give you some idea, like ectopic pregnancies is a pregnancy where it's taking place in a part of the body where it shouldn't be. So ectopic in this sense is this fat is in places where it shouldn't be. So your ectopic fat is inside your liver, which is why we have where fatty liver comes from, and inside your pancreas. It's fat that's in something that it shouldn't be in. So we learnt that, and we were shown through this man what a fatty liver looked like. And it was pretty revolting, and we all knew that that's what was going on inside our bodies. I mean, my fatty liver was I think it was the second highest in the group, so that was a real shock. The second type of fat you've got is visceral fat. Now, this is fat that surrounds all your organs, which is also dangerous. So these two fats, ectopic and visceral, are the most dangerous kinds of fats in your body. The third kind of fat is the one that I knew about, which is your subcutaneous, and all that means is that it's under your skin and everywhere else. The important thing is that when we go on these very low calorie diets and go into ketosis, which is something I'm going to talk about in a different episode, the fat that it targets the first is the ectopic and the visceral, which is very important because they're the most dangerous kinds of fat, and they're the ones that cause all the major problems. So this diet attacks that fat first. And this was proven by the MRIs that we had and the subsequent ones we had through the journey. So it's extremely important. So yeah, we learnt about fat, and we learnt about what it looks like in your body, and it literally does look like fat. I mean, Dr. Zoe was touching it with her fingers. She had gloves on, but you could see that kind of shiny, greasy feel to it. I'm sorry if this is putting people off, but I think it's important. This bloke left his body to science, so we could learn these kind of things. And I think it's important that we know what is going on inside our own bodies, because we kind of know, but we don't think about it. And we need to start thinking about it, because what you put in your body as a consequence, you know, your body is a miracle, really. You think about everything that it does, and the more you know about it, the better you can look after it. Because I was destroying it. We were all on self-destruct. There's no question. So this was a big part of our learning curve, witnessing this amazing procedure. And it really was. I mean, me and Steve cried. Luke, I know Luke got upset as well, bless him. It was just one hell of an experience. And I don't want to forget it. And I don't know who your family is, but thank you so much. You know, you're proud of him. So, and the other thing we did do, but unfortunately wasn't shown on the episodes, we met 3 amazing guys. These guys all had diabetes type 2. One had lost most of his foot, the other one lost half a leg. The other guy was waiting to get his blood sugar down because he was looking to have a gastric bypass. They all told us about their experiences, and none of them knew they were diabetic when these things. Just one of the examples. I won't mention names or anything like that. But basically, he was on holiday abroad. I think Las Vegas, and he was walking around the pool. Now, one of the side effects of diabetes when it's progressed is you lose sensation in your feet, and he was burning his feet literally on the floor, but he didn't realise because he couldn't feel it. But anyway, he burnt his feet. As a consequence, he picked up a deadly bacteria, which just started eating away at his feet, and that's how he lost his foot. So really, this is down to diabetes. And when you're diabetic as well, you don't heal properly. You know, it takes a long time to heal. There's so much about diabetes that people don't realise. And again, this is going to be a podcast in itself, all about diabetes, how you get it, what it is, and also the side effects, the complications, because we are so undereducated as a nation about what type 2 diabetes is, and it kills. You can turn blind, you can lose limbs, the quality of your life deteriorates to such an extent you just would not believe, and it kills you, simple as. So this is important, and this is why I'm going to be talking about it in a lot more detail. Gosh, that's all quite heavy stuff, isn't it? On a lighter note, I mean, one weekend I wasn't very well, so I missed the trip because I wanted to go to Brighton with them. I really wanted to go, but I couldn't do it because I was poorly. But the other guys went, and they had a great time, apart from when they had to go to like places that sold like sweets and donuts and stuff like that, and just to see how it made them feel. I'm glad I didn't have to do that. I never smelt food for 4 weeks, and when I got home, the first meal I made for my daughter was a bolognese, and just the smells that were coming from the food as I was just chopping it up, preparing it, I could not believe them. They were so intense, and the smell amazing, and cooking it as well. It's all these things that I used to take for granted before. They smelt delicious and they looked delicious, because by that point we'd done this for 4 weeks and we'd learned all these different things and a lot more. We became extremely conscious about what goes into your body. And I was starting to crave, proper food. I was starting to crave not the rubbish that I was eating before. I was craving steamed broccoli, and chicken, not mashed potatoes or anything like that. I wanted steamed broccoli. I was just this constant thing. I need some steamed broccoli. And the first time I did have that, oh God, it was so nice. So yeah, everything changed. Like my first supermarket trip, all I could smell was this bread. It was almost as if it was being piped into the supermarket. That's how intense it was to me. The first time I smelt like fresh bread from over a month. But it was so strong, a smell. And I was looking around at the aisles, and I was walking down these aisles, and I was looking at all these things that I would usually just naturally pick up without thinking about it. And I could not believe my eyes looking at all these things now after knowing what I know. I'm thinking, oh my God, what on earth was I doing? It was just, wow. my eyes were open. It's like you had blinkers on all your life, and somebody took them off, and you could see things differently all of a sudden. It was one hell of an experience going to the supermarket that first time. The other thing about the house was we were living with complete strangers, you know. I'd never been in that situation before. I had to leave my daughter behind, which was hard. I mean, I knew she'd be okay and everything, but leaving her was heart-wrenching. Leaving the dog behind, you know, it's just I got all these suitcases. I was on this train. I had I think I was about 4 trains that day in taxis and whatnot. It was a long day of travelling, and I was sitting on that train and thinking that when I'm on the journey back, I'm going to be a completely different person. And at that point, I didn't know in what way. There's quite a strange feeling looking back at it now. And that first day in the house, unpacking all my stuff, 4 weeks I was going to be there, and that 4 weeks sounded so long, but it went so quickly. And that last week, the last day, oh my God, I was just heartbroken, because you live with somebody 24/7, 7 days a week, and not just that, I mean, that's an event in itself, because you don't know these guys. You do by the end of the 4 weeks, but it was such an emotional journey, because we were all gone in ill. We were taken off the medication on this really, really strict diet of 4 sachets a day, 800 calories. So we were tired, we were hungry, you know, and what a difficult thing to do. So things would irritate you. You know, some things which are ridiculous now, but at the time it was just like, oh God, just stop it. Jenna, but she would walk around the house in these slippers, but she would not pick her feet up. So it was a constant shuffling. Now, I remember we didn't have carpets in this house. It was just wood floors. So it was this constant dragging of feet, and it's like a slow drag, and it just went on and on and on. It's like Chinese water torture. I'd used to just turn around, look at Steve, and like give each other that look where you don't need words, you know what I mean? And it was just, oh no, please, just stop it. And people's habits would show, you know. We all got them, haven't we? We all got little quirky things that we do and don't do. It'd be interesting actually to find out what the thought mine was. But yeah, that was one of hers. And also talking in the third person, which I find a bit weird. Jenna's tired. Yeah. I need to know what I did. I must have done something that used to really wind people up. I think there was one word I kept saying a lot, but I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, you do wind each other up a bit living in those conditions. We kind of found our feet quite quickly, I think, really, and what our relationships were in the house. Me and Steve were in effect the mum and dad of the house, and Luke was our son, still at home, and Dan was like the dodgy uncle. You know, we've all got one, haven't we? And Jenna was like our diva daughter, and that's pretty much what it was like, really, day in, day out. But yeah, it was funny. It was really, really funny. An amazing experience, and as I say, it's changed my life completely. It really has. And I'm going to be going through all these kind of things, obviously in a lot more detail as we go through it. So I'll be talking about the food that we ate, how we made it, what it was like, different tips on how to change it so it tastes better, but you're still on that diet, because there are things you can do to these things. You can tweak them and make them taste a lot better than what they do. And again, I mean, with these things as well, just keep trying different ones every now and then, because you know, your taste do change, and you might start liking some of the other ones. So yeah, we'll be talking about the food. We're talking about chronic health conditions like type 2 diabetes, fibromyalgia, all these other things, and that will be in connection with ketosis, because that does have a positive effect on chronic health conditions, which I found out as an unexpected thing. I wasn't expecting that to happen, because being diagnosed with fibromyalgia, being in ketosis alleviated the symptoms a hell of a lot, and I know that's why, because now I'm not in ketosis, those symptoms are back, so I need to get back into ketosis, back on a ketogenic diet. So that is something else I'm going to be talking to everyone about: keto diets, low carb diets, high fat diets, different types of exercise. Obviously I've gone from not being able to walk up the stairs to a point where I could just run up them. You know, I had to have another handrail put in on my stairs last year or the year before, because I couldn't walk up them. I was in that much pain. And a couple of months ago when I was in ketosis, I was like 45 minutes on the cross trainer. Not 4 or 5, 45. You know, so yeah, that's the difference it makes. So it's worth talking about, and it's important to get it all out, and people need to know about these kind of things. But definitely low carb diets if you're trying to reverse diabetes, but we'll go into that as well. We'll talk about the fatty liver, how, as I mentioned earlier, about how your blood sugar works, how insulin works, how your pancreas works, all the things surrounding diabetes, and anything else that you want me to talk about, we'll talk about that as well. But I'm going to do other podcasts. After all that's gone, I'm going to be talking about lots of other things. It's going to be a continuous thing there, so I'm going to be doing this probably every Monday, so just keep people updated with things. So please carry on sending me questions, and I will answer them on the blog, and I will answer them also in a podcast if that's what you want me to do. So anything you want me to talk about, anything at all, let me know. So this is the end of my second podcast. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something from it. I know it wasn't really about the diet as such today. It's just giving you a bit of a background onto the fast fix clinic that we were living in, and some of the things that we did, and just a little bit of the background stuff, really, just so it gives you some ideas to what we were going through for when I start talking about all the other bits and pieces. And just because people ask questions, and I just thought it'd be easier to do it in one go rather than answer everybody individually. So, but please carry on sending me your messages, because I do get back to everyone I get sent. It just takes me a bit of time depending on how many I get at any given point, but please keep looking back in. And as I say, this podcast is going to go out every Monday, hopefully, so just keep watching out for it, and keep following the blog, which is www.traceyward.me, and that's Tracey with an E, and you'll find me there as well. So take care until next time. Have a great week.